Then he said to them, "Why are you troubled? And why do questions arise in your hearts? Look at my hands and my feet, that it is I myself. Touch me and see, because a ghost does not have flesh and bones as you can see I have." The disaster in NTT province and other ones like the COVID-19 pandemic made us wonder why God allowed such horrible things to happen. Isn't God all good, all knowing, and all powerful? Why is there unhappiness? Why misery? Why are we hurt? Why are some forgotten? Why humiliation? Why sorrow? Why hunger? Why tragedy and calamity? And why death? Have you had an injury? The only decent physical wound in me is a scar on my right cheek. I often joke that it's because I once fought to defend someone else. In actual fact, I got the scar when I fell off my bicycle when I was about 4 or 5 years old. The road was slippery and after the rain, so it was impossible for me to stop. Incidentally, there was a street vendor in front of our house, and as I avoided him, I went straight into a ditch. I remember my mother was quite hysterical seeing me covered in blood on my cheeks. Then when I realized when I woke up, there were 4 stitches which still leave marks, but the wound doesn't feel painful anymore. It's only the scar. I have really been fully healed. Sometimes we see parents being very protective for their children. Children are too precious to get hurt. As a result, the child never feels what it means to be alive, what it means to be healed, and what it means to sacrifice. We can be like that with ourselves. Maybe we've been hurt before, and we don't want to get hurt again. My father had climbed a mountain and was stung by a swarm of bees that eventually saw him catching hepatitis. This made my mother forbid me to join any mountain climbing group because she didn't want her loved ones to get hurt again. Do we expect God to be like that? Do you expect God to protect us with His power so we never get hurt? There's an Irish story about a man who arrived at the gates of heaven. When he begged to be admitted, Saint Peter said, "Yes, please show me your scars." The man said, "I have no scars." Saint Peter also said, "What a shame. Is there nothing in the world worth fighting for?" That is why the body of the risen Christ had scars on his hands, has wounds, holes on his feet, on his side. He fought for the salvation of our souls. The wounds on his body reminded the apostles and other disciples about the sacrifice of Christ, who was willing to be hurt, to be crucified, and to die for us. His cross and sacrifice is our glory in the resurrection. His tribulation on earth is our eternal happiness in heaven. His humiliation is our honor in the hereafter. Dear friends in Christ, there is no resurrection without being hurt. There is no resurrection without persecution. There's no resurrection without sorrow. There's no resurrection without tribulation. There's no resurrection without hunger. There's no resurrection without disaster. There's no resurrection without humiliation. There's no resurrection without forgiveness. There's no resurrection without death.